Well, hey, everybody, and welcome to another Shift Break episode. My name is Chris DiFiorio. Glad to have you here. And if you don't know, this is also on YouTube, but we're starting to produce more content that's video content over on YouTube at Keys to the Shop. So go ahead and subscribe there and also subscribe to the show generally on your podcast players. But excited to have you here on this Shift Break episode. And got to tell you, today's episode is brought to you by La Marzocco. They have been making espresso machines by hand in Florence since 1927. Beauty, dependability, innovation. This is what makes La Marzocco a household name for specialty coffee all over the world. It is the quintessential espresso machine. I grew up on La Marzocco's, huge amount of faith in their product, and it's been proven over time. Innovative machines like the KB90 with the straight-in locking portafilter technology, auto flush for clean extractions, and scales in the drip tray for accurate extractions. You've got machines like the Leva, that is a little nod to the automatic, or the not the automatic, but the manual pulling of a shot. And one of my favorite machines, you have the Linea PB, like the classic Linea, but with the technology of today, allows you ultimate control over extraction. And this is just the tip of the iceberg in terms of what kind of configurations and types of machines they have. They have something that matches your needs. So if you're looking for the best espresso machine for your new shop, your second shop, your fifth shop, you just want to upgrade what you've got, lamarzocousa.com, or email them, info@lamarzocousa.com, and they will help you out and get you the right gear for your cafe. Now, we're also today sponsored by our friends at Rattleware, where they make, the small wares that make a huge deal for your cafe. It's a big deal to have small wares that work. Small wares are things like the whisks and the knockbox and the pitchers and the shot glasses and that kind of stuff. You grab for it, you want it, you don't think about, is this going to work, until it stops working. That's what kind of frustrates them at Rattleware. That's what drives them, is to create smallwares that just work. So go to rattleware.com, and see what they have to offer there. You're going to be impressed at the range of options they have to outfit your bar with one of the most important things, smallwares that just work, rattleware.com. So today, everyone, I wanted to talk to you on Shift Break about a topic that it's pervasive. It's something I do. It's something everybody in coffee does. And when faced with this issue, we predictably turn to the same direction. And that is when something is going off about our cafe, or we find ourselves confronted with a problem that is newer to us. One of the things we do is we reflexively procrastinate on it, or turn the other direction and go find something else to focus our attention on, so we don't have to sit with the problem, and it prevents us from growing. So what I'm talking about is when we try to learn more about coffee, just the product coffee, how the extraction science, the water, we get certifications for quality control of our coffee, and our bar is not doing as well as we want. So kind of know that it's a people issue. We kind of know it's a culture issue. Maybe it's our leadership. Maybe it's our communication. But it's much easier to think, maybe I just need to learn more about coffee. Maybe I need to go take a class, and we need to add more menu items. So it's a menu issue. It's a drink issue, because those are things that are very available. It's sort of the word I've been using a lot on the show, the procrastinating thing. Like, I'm procrastinating on doing the thing that I know I should do by learning more about the thing that I don't really need to learn more about. And I'm not saying that you can't have a continual upward trajectory with your coffee quality. You should always, what's that saying? 1% better every day. You should be getting better every day. But the thing that makes a coffee bar successful is not the knowledge that you have about coffee. It might not even be the coffee itself, although excellence and high quality consistently all day long in your cafe is a ground level, like it's the basics, right? What holds it together are relationships and people, and the management of people, and communication, clarity, resourcing, growing as a leader, you personally getting over certain weaknesses and tendencies that can submarine your chances for success, that if success does come, because people love your brand, because people love your coffee and all this other stuff, then you're going to be called upon to steward that opportunity. So you get more stores, you get featured in a magazine locally or something, and more people come in. A lot of us have spent so much time developing our knowledge of coffee and our skills with coffee, but atrophying in other areas of business and relationships, communication, and those soft skills that are required to uphold and consistently put out there the hard skills of creating coffee. So there's this idea out there that you are a coffee professional, and a coffee professional would lead you to believe that you should just learn a lot about coffee and you're just going to be an expert. Coffee experts don't always run great coffee shops. Why are there very successful shops out there with people who have very rudimentary knowledge of coffee? Because what people come to a coffee shop for, of course, yes, is coffee. But coffee itself, the production of coffee at the shop, and the amount of training that you need to do it well, comparatively speaking, I think, is way more accessible. And it's something that we lean on again to sort of get us out of having to focus on the stuff that feels a little bit less accessible, less risky. It's riskier to actually be vulnerable to molt ourselves into the new version of ourselves as our business grows and we grow and the team grows. That's hard. It's very hard. But that's what the best coffee shops do. And the coffee largely remains the same. It's nothing really groundbreaking, no pun intended, about the way you cup coffee or the way that you taste coffee and the way that you make espresso. Most people on the same specialty coffee level are doing it the same way. It's not the differentiator really that you're thinking it is. What the differentiator is between success and failure is how well you handle the people, the interplay between customers and staff and one another, and you and all of the rest of them. And that's the key to success. That's what being a coffee professional is versus a coffee enthusiast. A professional is somebody who understands coffee. Of course, they might be a coffee expert, you could say, but they're expert in the way that they can consistently create a platform that delivers coffee to people. And you have to be more of an expert in the shop, in the people, in the relationships, in the mechanisms and the operations, almost more so than the coffee itself, because without that, that is like water to coffee. Okay. So if you think, yeah, coffee is mostly water, coffee is mostly, 99 whatever percent water, 98 for some, it is a same comparison to look at the shop and say that same percentage of shop success is those relationships, the operations, the systems that support the values being worked out for the benefit of people. That is the water. The coffee in this case is just a small percentage of what makes your business successful. So, this shift break is all about you taking a new perspective. You're getting close to the new year. So, maybe this is something to meditate on over your coffee as you look in the middle distance out the window in the morning and think about, well, how am I going to specialize in my shop, in the people, in the systems and operations? And do I know enough about coffee to be successful, answer questions about coffee? Yeah, probably. For the more of the questions you get from customers, you probably are fine. Maybe you do need to learn a little bit more and you need to get better at making espresso and milk. Now, if you're there and you are making drinks that are subpar, get that up there. You still need to learn about business and operations, but at a certain point, that coffee piece is just going to be boom, it's going to get set. And at that point, you can either pretend like you need to keep learning more about coffee as a way of avoiding this other stuff, or you can say, okay, that's set, let's maintain it, but let's innovate and grow in this other area because that's way more dynamic. You talk about coffee as an agricultural product and how it changes all the time, and we have to be on our toes because the harvest is going to be this way or that way depending on the weather. Even more so, people, right? So, how much more focus should we have on what we're doing and who we're doing it for than what we're serving and how we're serving it? I mean, both need to be focused on, but I think you get my meaning. So, that's it for today's shift break. I really hope that you enjoyed and it's somehow useful to you today. Thank you so much. And we will see you here next week on another edition of Shift Break, from Keys to the Shop.